Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing today? Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. I'm starting a new project and I just wanted to share with you what I'm doing. I had talked about this in my video, at the end of my video, where I'm working on the Frozen journal. And this is a book cover that I found, just the book cover, no inside pages or anything, at a thrift store. And I said this book cover is calling me to make a journal out of it. Okay, so I mean, that's why I bought it. I thought I saw it at the thrift store and I was like, oh, that is so cool and so old. I mean, how old is it? It looks like it's 100 years old to me. I'm just going to call it the 100-year-old book cover because it looks like it's 100 years old. I did wipe it down and this is as clean as it gets. So here's the inside. But I thought since I'm having this urge to go ahead and make this into a journal, I would combine that with the fact that I am going to create my design team project now for Shabby Dabby Doodah. So I thought I would combine it with the digital kit I'm using, which is very vintagey looking, and that is called the Bee's Knees. So here's what I picked out for the cover right here. I thought I would use, this was a page, I think this was a page. If it wasn't, anyway, I cut these two pieces out. And what I want to do is show part of the book. Now, I wish I could leave the spine showing, but I really need to strengthen the spine, so I decided that I'm not going to leave the spine showing, but at least I'm going to leave the outer rim of the front and back covers here. So like this would be something like this, and you'll be able to see like, oh, that's an old 100-year-old book under there. And the same with the back. I want to leave that just a little rim around the paper so you can see, oh, that was an old book. Isn't that cool? At least I think it's cool, right? So then on the inside cover, this is part of the kit that I'm using from Shabby Dabby Doodah. Tina created this. Very beautiful. It's in her Etsy shop and it's called Bee's Knees, and it's a 25-page kit, very large. So this I picked out for the inside cover because when I saw this page, I thought, wow, that is like, I mean, I can just picture this opening a 100-year-old book and seeing this pattern right here, right? So it was like this. And then I cut it apart so I could do this. Switch it up. Probably going to do it like that. And again, it does show the outer rim on the inside. I could have made it a little bit like I could have printed these out a little bit bigger and then did a wraparound, but I wanted to show the edges. I did that on purpose. So this is kit I printed at 75%, just in case you want to know the size. So like the size of this book cover, just say if I want to measure the front, just so you can see the sizes that I'm using. This book cover, I'm just measuring the front from the spine over, is 4 and 2, what is that, 1/16. And then the length here is about right on 6.5. Okay, got the book even coming apart as I speak, or something there. Paper maybe. Oh, it's paper from the spine here. Yeah, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that right up. But there's another piece right there. But then let me show you the kit. So I printed it out at 75%. So here, okay, let me show you real quick, real quick. First, I was gonna use something like this. You know, with the cover, I was going back and forth between what I showed you I'm going to use and this one. So this was a, you know, I mean, this would be a perfect cover, right? I just, when I put it down, the other one looked better with the colors of this old 100-year-old book. So I decided to use the other one. But these are the other pages, and I didn't print out all the pages yet because I was kind of experimenting, and so I wasn't quite done experimenting, so I didn't print out. But these are printed on bond, and so these are some other pages. Really pretty, beautiful. All right, aren't they cool? I mean, just awesome. That's only half the pages there. And then I printed out the ephemera, which I did not cut out, but I printed the ephemera on paper. This is paper, just regular like copy paper. And then sometimes I print it on paper, sometimes I print it on cardstock. And it just depends on what I'm going to use it for, you know, as far as the ephemera goes. It depends on what I'm going to use it for and as to what I print it out on. So like this, I want to use these type of images, I want to use in layering and things like that. So I want to print them out on paper so that when if I layer them, they don't get bulky, you know what I mean? And then things that I want to be stronger and maybe make journaling cards or something, then that I'll print out on, you know, cardstock. So that's a few, you know, that'll be cut out later. Today we're just going to work on the book cover, and then, you know, the other parts will be in separate videos. So I did some pre-cutting here, measuring, and I've got this piece of chipboard ready for the spine, and it fits right in here. So I just cut, I didn't even really measure, I just put my chipboard up here and said, okay, I need to cut right here and cut right there, and then I, you know, put it up here, even with my spine. Well, one end was already, you know, cut, and then the other end I just put right here and snipped it right off. So that's how I got the size. So, and you can see it fits right in there. And so now I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac on here just to get this nice and sturdy inside that old spine there. I want to restore that spine. I don't want to cut that out, like I think I said that already. But I mean, I could make a new spine, but I just, for some reason, you know, I don't know, I just a lot of times let the book tell me what to do, or the cover. Sometimes I'll do the cover, and then I'll be like letting the cover tell me what kind of pages to put inside and things like that. So this cover is telling me to save the spine, which I've only done that in Reader's Digest so far, I think, is used the spine with a Reader's Digest that was already there, because I wanted to keep that spine. I think a lot of those spines are very cool. So this book, even though I'm covering up the spine, it told me, I want a little bit more in this corner here. You want to get the edges down really, really good. But we're going to be covering this with masking tape, but or duct tape. But yeah, so that's how I decided to keep the spine. So we're going to get that down in there, in between the two covers, between these two covers. Get it down in there, and I think that's all the Fabri-Tac we need for the moment. We might need it again in a bit, or we will need some glue again in a bit. But first of all, we're going to get this in there, smooth it out. Sorry if the camera's shaking, I just realized. Shaking a table. Gotta take it easy here. But there we go. I think that is nice and in. Okay. So now I'm just going to take some duct tape here, and this will further strengthen our spine. Okay, and this makes for a very, very strong spine. This duct tape, I use this, I've only used this color because it's neutral, as you can see. A neutral color, and it's like beigey. It actually looks like burlap. If you look at the pattern there, I guess it's supposed to look like burlap, but I got it because it was neutral colored. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick this down here, right in the middle. This will cover from side to side. I won't need to use two pieces. Sometimes if I have a bigger spine, I'll use two pieces to cover the spine, you know, one on this side, one on that side, and get it all nice and covered. But this is only 1 inch, so one piece will do. So we're going to get that covered up. And usually if I can, I'll do the wraparound, and I'll show you what that is in a second. Let me just make sure this is not going to come off here. I'll tack down and then turn this over. Make sure nothing got wrinkled up, or you know how tape is. It can get stuck to itself. So let's see if this is going to work. Actually, yeah, I do want to wrap it around, but it's not totally going where I want it. So see, I want it to be a little bit more over this way, I think. It's right on the edge there, although that will be covered up. So, oh, I think it'll be all right. Actually, I think it'll be all right. Don't want to get too crazy with it, but sometimes I overthink it a little bit. Not too much, but I think it'll be all right. So, pull that up here. I'm going to pull it a little bit over the top because I'm going to wrap it around the top again, even though it's already up to the top on the inside. Yeah, this is good because it's not going over the front. It's going more over the back. So that's fine. And then, so I'm going to wrap this around in a minute. I'm going to cut it off right here, leaving a little bit. You can see here, I left a little bit up here. And then just wrap that around again. So we've got nice strong edges there. Just make sure that's all even. Let me pull that up and do that again because I kind of pushed it down crooked. Okay, let's pull it down here, both sides, and all even. There we go, that's better. Okay, now we're going to make sure this is all down, smooth. Get our bend, see our bend there? Get everything, make sure everything bends properly. Kind of just get your everything in place where your spine is bending, because we did not make a new spine. We just are reinforcing and restoring this old spine, okay? So make sure we don't need any more tape on here. I think we're good to go, because we're going to be covering this up again. Yep, it looks strong. Okay, so let's do, let's see, it doesn't really matter which one you do first, front or inside the cover. So let's go ahead and do our outside. So this is going to go here like this. And I usually like to, on my spines, I always like to, I think I've always used fabric, some type of fabric or lace, or, you know, something like that, crochet lace or something fabric-y. No, I don't usually put paper on the spine. I don't know, it just, the thought of that doesn't seem like it would be, for me. I mean, you can put paper on it if you want to, you can try it, but I just really just like the look of some type of fabric on the spine, I guess, is what it probably is. So I was looking through my fabric and I came across this upholstery, and it was floral, and then it had this piece down on one part of it, just like down the middle. And I was like, wow, that is pretty cool. I think that would look neat on my journal. So as you can see, I think it does look really cool. And so this is going to go right here. And right now I'm leaving it sticking over the top and the bottom. I might want to leave it like that. I don't know why. It's just telling me right now to do it like that. Later on I might be saying, oh, that's weird, and cut it off. But right now I'm leaving it like that. So I like the whatever fabric I do put on the spine, I like it to cover the edges of the paper that I'm putting on. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these down. I think that art glitter glue will do fine with this. If I think that the art glitter glue is not, I mean, I've never had a problem with it, but if I started doing it and I thought, oh, this is not going to work, I would just grab my Fabri-Tac and use that, because between the two of them, they're going to, one or the other is going to work. Just trying to get this going. I haven't used this today so far, so if you haven't used art glitter glue before, it does have a very narrow metal tip that comes with it here, and sometimes it's a little, you know, it takes a minute to like start flowing out, but we'll see how quick. Oh, it's coming right out today. Thank you very much, glue. Thank you to the glue gods. They're with me today, right? So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue this down, and then we'll do our fabric. So, try to do it a little quickly here since I'm on video, but I do like to get the edges good, you know, down really good, because, you know, nothing's going to be on the outer edge, especially, except the paper. It's going to be onto the book, and then on the on the inner side where the spine is, we're going to have fabric over that, but I still want everything to be, you know, glued down good and just perfectly, you know, strong and strengthened and renewed and restored as we create a new book out of this 100-year-old cover. And I wanted to leave the edges exposed on the front cover because I just thought that would be really cool. And, you know, I didn't want it to look like I was making a journal out of just some chipboard that, you know, I mean, how would you know what was under there if you couldn't see it a little bit, you know? Let me do that again. I don't have it where I want it. Hope I didn't. I might have to add more glue now that I pulled that up, but we'll see. You do have a few seconds with art glitter glue, but not too long. You got to get it down pretty quick. Yeah, okay, that worked. See, that is so cool. It just looks like it might have been that way, you know what I mean? That's what I was going for too. Like, it was always like this. This is how it was originally. Okay, so now let's do the back. I will show you, I might put these book corners on right here. We'll see. Sometimes I just like to leave the old corners. I just think it adds a lot of charm. But I know the book corners are pretty, and if I don't put them on, I could include them with the journal, like for whoever gets it, if they want to put book corners on after they get it. I don't know. I just like the old. If they're not like these aren't, like, they don't look like they were chewed on by a dog or anything. You know what I mean? They're not like exposing. They're still there. They're just old. So I guess that's another reason maybe I'll just leave it, because they are okay. Okay. So I hope y'all are having a good weekend. It's my weekend. And so that's when I get to do most of my crafting. During the week it's a little hard, you know, to find time after work or before work or on my lunch break sometimes. But then, you know, got a cart. If I bring it to my work, then to my office, and it's like got to cart it back and forth, which is fine, but I try to bring easy stuff and not like something like this to work. It's a little, sometimes the hardest part of it is bringing it back home and trying to put it back away again. You know what I mean? I mean, believe me, it's like, okay, now I gotta take it all out and put it away. So lately I've been trying to bring easier things to do on my lunch time crafting. Okay. I think I got glue all over it there, and make sure it's upright. Everything's the way I want it here, and we'll glue it down. Get it in the right spot here. Top, bottom, and side. Looking at all three of those to get everything in the right space here. Okay. So this, all our edges are down. Still got our good bend here. And press that paper. This one I cut so it didn't go over the edge, and this one I didn't do that too. So now I'm having to make sure it's glued down. I either have to make sure that's glued down or cut it off. So I'm just making sure it's glued down. Get some of this glue off of me here. Okay, so now we're going to do the center piece, which I It's this piece with the pinked edges. I have both the edges pinked here. And I'm going to leave a little bit over the top and a little bit over the bottom and just see how that does, how I feel about that after I'm done with the cover and probably the book. But so on this I'm going to use some, I think Fabri-Tac will be good. This is a nice thick upholstery. In fact, it says drapery fabric right there. This is a piece from the back that's going to give this even more strength, so, and thickness. So let me get my Fabri-Tac back out here. And let's see, so it's going to go over, the fabric. I'm just trying to see. I guess I'll just go ahead and put, sometimes I just put my glue on the book, especially if the fabric is lace or a little bit thinner of a fabric. I'll put it on the book instead of here, but since this is pretty thick, I'm going to go ahead and just stick it on here. Put some glue on here. And I've used both art glitter glue and Fabri-Tac on the fabrics. And again, if it's a thicker fabric, maybe you want to use the Fabri-Tac, and if it's a thinner fabric, the art glitter glue works perfect. And you know, you can smear it out smooth so that you don't get lumpy bumps under with both glues if you want. And I'm probably going to do that on this fabric real quick if I can, which I think I should be able to. So I just want to make sure I have it on my edges here, and then I'm going to smooth it out a little bit. Got some strings there, but let me see if I can, especially like this part has the extra piece from the fabric sample book, so that I don't really need to smooth out unless I just want to make sure it's all going to stick down. So I think we're good to go. I'm going to have to get out my baby wipes and wipe off my fingers here, but okay. Go ahead and press that down so it can start to glue down for me. And if I have to, I'll come back and put some under the edges, but I think I might have it pretty good. I want to go ahead and bend that and make sure we're in a good space here with where our bend's going to be. So yeah, I need some more on here. Yeah, I think I need a little bit more on here. Before I do that, let me grab my baby wipes. Not really baby wipes, they're antibacterial wipes. Sanitizing Ready wipes that I got at Dollar Tree. Okay. Yeah, that Fabri-Tac is, it's like the second it hits water, it like turns into some kind of plasticized glue or something. It's a little bit hard to get off. Let's see. Okay, there it goes. Sorry, you have to watch me clean my fingers, but kind of need to have my fingers clean to do what I need to do here. I don't know if you guys get so much glue on your fingers, but I certainly get a lot of glue on my fingers. Okay. I don't know if there's any way to avoid that. Like I thought about wearing gloves, but then I wouldn't be able to really work, you know what I mean? Okay, so let me see how this looks. I think it looks good. It just needs to be glued down. This side is good. And this side needs more glue. So I think I'm going to use some art glitter glue because I don't want, you know, if Fabri-Tac comes out over the edges, it, you know, gets shiny, and I don't know. I don't want that. So I'm going to see if this art glitter glue will hold this down on the edges here. I mean, once this art glitter glue dries, it really holds things into place. So I might just have to wrap this around here. hold it down for a second until it takes, which I think it's already taking. Got a thread here I need to cut off. Okay. A little bit more right here. Hold it down for a second. And then we'll keep going up on the side of the spine here. Now I might put some trim on here. I haven't picked out any yet, but I think it would be good to put some trim on here. I do have some nice green trim that would probably look perfect on here, so I might get that out. I think that would be a great addition to this cover. And then just bring it all together as far as the fabric. I mean, this looks fine like this, but I think trim would be a great finishing touch on here. I think I have some, what's it called? Hemp, I think. I don't know, I'll have to get it out, but, and I'll show you in my next video what I choose. Okay. Now, that is good for the moment. It's all glued down, and it's taking, I'm just giving it a minute to you know, set so that I can open it again and do the inside with you on this video. We don't have to do separate videos for the inside. Okay, so I think it's good, and I can still put more glue on there and then put my trim on there. I have some pretty green trim that would look probably really perfect with the greens in this paper. So I think I'm probably going to do that, and then let's go ahead and do the inside. And let me just get some glue off my fingers. Okay, so I said I wanted to do it like this, I think, but I think I'm going to do it like this. And that's because I want to put a pocket over here. I think I'm going to want to put a pocket on the inside, of especially the front cover. So I could put the flowers over here and not be afraid to cover up. So these flowers are so pretty, I don't think I want to cover them up. That's kind of why I was going to do it like this, but that would not leave me very much room for a pocket. So I think I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so like that. And so let's just glue these down, and then again, kind of like the same thing we did on the front cover. And then I might also add some of the trim, whatever trim I pick out for the front cover, add it on the inside too. So we've got a nice sunny day today in North Carolina. We've had a couple of sunny days in the last 2 weeks, but it's mostly been like every day I wake up and I'm like, it's raining again. Again, all day. It's cloudy and rainy. Like, it's been crazy. But, okay, so it's today. This video won't be posted today. It might be posted tomorrow or the next day. But, like, it's crazy with all this rain, and it's been a little warm, not as far as what February is supposed to be, like, not supposed to be, but you know, usually it's a little colder. And so since it's been warmer, like the other day I got in my car and I looked out to the backyard and it was so green. I was like, what in the world? That I love it looking green, but I was like, wow. It's only, and that was like yesterday or the day before, so say February 14th or February 13th already, the middle of February, and your grass is already green and maybe even starting to grow, like, because we don't usually have to mow until, oh, I don't know, sometime in March or something like that even later. I was like thinking we might have to mow the yard and by the end of February. And then the daffodils are blooming, I noticed, and not here in my town. I didn't see any here, but in Greensboro where I work. In Greensboro, I noticed at the courthouse there was some daffodils blooming in the front there, and it was so pretty. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll take some daffodils. But with all the rain and a little bit of warm, they just popped out, I guess. Popped up, started blooming. That's what they do. The first flower of the spring. And it's the middle of February, it's already blooming. So we'll see what else happens. I think next is the tulips. Things like that. And then some certain trees are the first to bloom. So we'll see what trees start blooming. But pretty fun to see spring already. I don't know what the groundhog said, but didn't really pay attention this year. But it's starting to look like spring around here. So that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I do like this art glitter glue because you can make a very light, even though I'm doing it like this squiggly, you can get a very light layer down and not really have to smooth it out with this thin tip, you know what I mean? But I do have to squeeze really hard on this bottle, and like this finger, my pointer finger is like hurting right now. It's like, okay, I'll be done gluing soon. You can hold out for another minute here. You can do it. And it's not anything like anything. It's just from pressing on this bottle so hard. Okay, so let's see if we got enough glue on there. Get it in position before it starts to dry. I think that's good. Actually, I would like to go up a little bit more here. I saw part of the inside of the cover showing that I don't want to show. If it was going to show, I'd have it showing on the bottom and not the top. Pull it over a little. Okay, I think we're going to have to leave it there. The glue it does dry fast, so you got to get it down. At a certain point, you're like beyond the point of no return, or else you're going to have to start over, right? But that's fine. I got plenty of paper in there. We're going to bend it here. Make sure everything's down. We are going to be covering up that middle part with the fabric, but just want to get everything in place. Make sure everything's in the right place. No bubbles or anything there. Again, I didn't cut this off here, but I could have, and I still might because this is coming up here. Yeah, I'm going to cut this off because this is going to be covered up anyway. And I don't want that to cause a problem in the future, opening and closing the book, you know what I mean? So I'll just cut it right off. See that? Just cut it right off. We don't need that. We don't need any issues. How about this one? Is this one staying down? This one's staying down. That one was just going to give me a problem, it looked like, so I decided to cut it off. Put a little bit more glue under that edge there. We'll get it nice and glued down. Okay. I'm going to let that sit for a second while I get this fabric glued, ready to glue on, and then I'll bend it. I just want it to glue down real good before I try to bend it because I don't want it to come back up. So I'm going to let that dry for a minute while I put some Fabri-Tac on the fabric here. Let's see, this one, I think I'm going to put it on the spine this time, because we're going right inside the spine here, inside the cover. So I'm just going to go right here. Across the bottom. Let's see, I do need to see where this is bending. Yeah, right here. Okay. Yeah. Want to make sure where it bent so I could put the glue in the right place. And then I'll fill in the edges because it's going to be sticking out here on both sides. So after I get it down in the middle, I will see if that's enough. After I get it down in the middle, then I will put some glue under the edges, and it might even be art glitter glue so we don't see any shiny glue, because that's the issue I've had with Fabri-Tac and why I try to use mostly art glitter glue, because I don't like shiny glue sticking out on my covers, you know. So another pretty piece here. Both sides are pinked, and so I'm going to put that right like that. Let's pull it up to the top a little bit more. Okay. Press it down all in the middle where the spine is. String. I didn't really fray this because it's upholstery or drapery fabric, so I didn't try to fray it or anything. And like I said, I'm probably going to put some trim on here anyway. So I just thought this was like the perfect design to go with this. I mean, look at that. It's like a vine, and this is like little vines or flowers or twigs or something. So I just thought that was so, I couldn't believe it when I found that. I was like, and it was like the first two fabrics I pulled out, and this was on it, and I was like, wow, that was really lucky. Because I have quite a bit, I have 2 drawers. I don't have, you know, I know some people have more fabric than me, but for me, that's a lot of fabric, 2 drawers to look through. So, let's see now. You know, I don't really think we need any more on there. It's actually down. If I need more, I might put more later, but right now I don't need any more on there. So right now I'm going to leave it to dry, and then I'll, you know, see if I want to put trim there. So this is how it looks. I'm going to bend it. I'm a little bit afraid to bend it. I want to make sure everything's glued down, but let's go ahead. It does need to be bent into book form. Get it used to what it's going to be doing, bending, opening and closing. Okay, it's very strong. It's like, you can feel it when you try to bend it. It's like almost not wanting to bend, but it does bend, of course. You can see it. So I think it's going to be really beautiful. I'm glad I decided to save this little 100-year-old book cover. And I mean, look at that. It looks like it maybe was always that way. And with the old cover underneath there, you can see how pretty it looks. So that's the outside so far. Definitely want to put trim on the outside. I don't know about the inside. I kind of will play that by ear. Yeah, this does need a little glue on the edges. Now that I bent it, I can see. So probably going to put some, just to make sure everything is tacked down too on the edging here. It'll be good to put some trim there just for support, if nothing else. But of course, it'll add decoration too. And then I want to, the trim will be, see, here's the cover right here. And this is just a little tiny bit over the cover. The trim is a small trim that I'm thinking of, so I'll still have room here to put a small pocket of some kind. It could even be a side little pocket like that. So we'll see what I decide. I do want it to take, you know, stay with the look of the, you know, the old book look here. So that's it for now. I'll come back and show you what I do. This might even get wrapped around here. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the restoration of this pretty book cover. And then we'll work on pages after that too. So see you next time. Happy crafting. Thank you.